Hello everyone and welcome to episode 4 of Living in the Atacama Desert. I hope you can hear me as there's some construction behind of me, but with the microphone it should be right. So we are in 2022, a new year has started and I have a lot of adventures to tell you. This trip will not be about the area and the surrounding here, but about the trip which we did in November with the work, and it will be divided into a few episodes as this trip was about 3 weeks long. So what happened? In early November we left San Pedro Atacama to the airport to Calama. From there we took the plane to Santiago de Chile, and from Santiago de Chile to La Paz, which is the capital of Bolivia and where our trip, call it, started. Guys, we are embarking to the plane right now. Here's Eric, who wants to challenge me for the best picture challenge of this trip.
Of all time.
We will see who wins. So guys, we are leaving now, embarking to the new plane, and let's see how it goes, right? See you in Bolivia. We are here now in Uyuni trying our satellite phones, and hopefully they are gonna work, and then we are off on the trip.
Yeah.
Thanks. See you later. From La Paz we had to go all the way down to the south to Laguna Verde and Laguna Blanca, where our expedition started, and it was very beautiful to stay there. Yeah, we could say that the first night started in Polques, which is a beautiful mountain place, mountain hut where you can sleep at. And it also has some hot springs where we were able to bath inside, and it was really amazing. Here in the hot springs of Polques at 4,400 meters?
4,400 meters.
4,400 meters. The water is just splendid, and look at our view.
With this marvelous sunset.
From there on we took the car and drove to the lagoons, which were very beautiful to see. We had the view to the mountain Licancabur, which is also very precious to look at, and also saw lots of animals. And then we continued our drive to see some geysers, which are one of the highest geysers as far as I know all around the world. They are almost at the altitude of 5,000 meters above sea level, and their name is Geysers Sol de la Mañana, which translates to geysers of the morning sun. And they are very beautiful to look at. There's no restrictions to where you can walk. There's no trail really, so you can get really close and observe everything, which on one side is very beautiful to look at, and on the other side it kind of complicates the situation because it can be dangerous as well. And from there on, from the geysers, we went to another lagoon which is called Laguna Colorada. This lagoon is most of the year, and specifically in the time we went at, completely red. It looks like a painting if you look at the lagoon, and there you can also see lots of flamingos. which is very beautiful to see, to observe the animals with telescopes or binoculars. It's just something very different. Also, the altitude here was higher than where I live at usually. Usually I live my normal life at around 2,500 meters, and here in Bolivia, especially during the first days, we are all the time over 4,000 meters of altitude. So you could definitely feel the changes, right, in how you walk, how you feed yourself, and basically everything you do, right? From the lagoon we went to one of the mountain homes which our hotel built, and where in the future our guests will stay at, and with a beautiful view to another lagoon which is just in front of it. There's some flamingos inside of it, and it's very, very beautiful to look at. On day 2 we did a hike. This is a full day hike, and this hike is around the lagoon in front of us, which I don't want to mention the name here so that the location stays kind of private. And we did a hike. We saw lots of beautiful landscapes. We saw lagoons where we could see how the flamingos walk on it. So the water wasn't very high and you could see the footprints, which was also very interesting to see, especially because we were able to see it from above of it. And yeah, it is a very beautiful place to be at. And yeah, on this day we stayed in a mountain hut near the Laguna Idiona, which would translate to smelly lagoon probably. Over here the lagoon is smelly because there is lots of minerals, especially sulfur in the area. But as we were there and we stayed there, I didn't really smell this place so much, so I don't really know where the name comes from basically. And also this lagoon was very beautiful. The hotel had lots of details. Everyone was surprised by how beautiful it was decorated, how the rooms looked like, and especially the couple who was maintaining the place was just amazing to us. They treated us very well. They were really giving us the best time of our life, basically, like cooking splendid food for us. We had rooms with views to the lagoon, which was amazing. And during the night we could observe the night sky in a way which we are not even to do here. And this area in San Pedro de Atacama is one of the places which is supposed to be one of the best places to observe the sky at night, you know. And here in the lagoon, I was surprised. I was really astonished by how beautiful everything looked, on how many stars we could observe, and basically everything what was to do there. And yes, I guess that's everything for the first video of this series. I hope you did enjoy it. Like and subscribe to this channel, I would really appreciate it, because I want to make this something long term. And yeah, thanks for watching. I wish everyone a happy new year. May all your dreams come true and that you have basically the best time of your life. And thanks for watching, and I talk to you in the next one. Goodbye. Hello everyone, and welcome to the 5th episode of this series, Living in the Atacama Desert. We continue our travel in Bolivia. Last time we left that we were sleeping at the Laguna Idionda, where we had a beautiful room with a view to the lagoon, where we could watch flamencos and also the beautiful night sky during the night. In this video, or during our stay here in this area, we continued. We stayed there for about 3 to 4 days or nights. And on one of those days we visited a volcano, which is called Volcan Ascotan. This volcano is over 5,000 meters high, and we hiked it up. It was very beautiful to have this experience with this group. And always, once you go to the mountain, it's something really special. And I guess that's for everyone. So probably that's why people fall in love with the mountains. Who knows? Anyways, the hike up there was amazing. On our way we tried to find a radio which got lost 2 years ago. There was a huge prize for the person who would find it, but unfortunately we couldn't find it. And the hike itself was rather was okay. The volcano is very inclined, so you really need to put in the physical effort, but the views on top are definitely worth it. Also on top of it there is kind of a crater which includes a beautiful small lagoon. And yeah, it is worth it definitely. Today we attempt to hike up Mount Ascotan, 5,400 meters, 1,400 meters of decibel. Me 136. Okay, little update. We are at 5,136 meters. The group is here. Everything is fine.
5.100.
5.100?
Und?
36.
36. Yo sé mucho alemán también. Digo, Osil, Oliver Kahn. Schumacher.
Yeah, here, enjoying the view as well. What a nice day. What a nice day. Also, this volcano divides or is the border between Chile and Bolivia, which meant that once on the top we actually received phone signal with my Chilean SIM card, and I was able to call my family, I was able to call my friends, and that was something really special, right? Because it's not usual, it's not common, so it's funny. And then we hiked down the volcano, On the way down we had to walk down a sandy area. This one was really cool because you are able to kind of slide in the sand and in the stones. It's something which is fun, but probably requires a little bit of practice as well to do it kind of safe, right? Because it's the most important thing in the mountains, or one of the most important things is to feel safe and to be safe, right? And yeah, that was one beautiful excursion. We also did some hikes in this area where we visited lots of lagoons. We saw lots of formations and beautiful landscapes. And once we left the region, we went off to San Pedro de Quemes. San Pedro de Quemes is a little town also in Bolivia, which has its name from the war when Bolivia and Chile were fighting, and the Chilean people, they burned down the city. This is a very tragic event, and during this war, some people of San Pedro de Quemes fled to another town nearby where we also do some hikes, and which is very beautiful to visit. It's a beautiful place near San Pedro de Quemes. There's an old church and some old buildings, which is very nice to visit. Now it's a beautiful place. You can still visit the ruins there, which is nice. San Pedro de Quemes back then was named San Pedro de Buenavista, which means or translates to San Pedro with a good view, right? Because over there you have a beautiful view on one salt flat and all the mountains in the background. I remember sitting there once. We had a thunderstorm, and I was sitting outside of the hotel, or the terrace, for about 1 hour just watching the lights and listening to the thunder, which was pretty amazing, right? And yeah, the hotel itself as well treated me very well. For some reason I got lucky and I received a suite there. It was a very beautiful big room. I think I have never slept in a bed which was so big, as it wasn't made out of wood or anything. It was rock base, and on it they put on the mattresses, so it was not a common size. And then also I had a bathtub which I didn't use, and a huge bathroom, but all in all I have to say that the experience there was amazing, and the people there treated us very well as well. And yeah, I think that's it for this video. In the next video I will show and tell you a little bit more about our excursion or our trip in Bolivia. And thank you for watching. Like and subscribe to the video. I would appreciate it, and then I'll talk to you again soon. Goodbye. Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of our travels in Bolivia and of living in the Atacama Desert. This is also the last episode of our travel in Bolivia, and I hope I can share a few new things and beautiful things with you. So there's actually not so much left about our travels in Bolivia, and also this is not in the order which we did before, but it's things I haven't mentioned to you and shown you before, so I want to share them with you now. There's 2 things left. The first one is our visit to Villamar. Villamar is an indigenous community kind of near the border of between Bolivia and Chile, and it got its name because it's the last city before the sea. You know, Bolivia doesn't own a sea or doesn't have access to sea really, so the name Villamar actually comes from this scenario. You know, Villa Mar, la última villa del mar, the last town before the sea. Yes. So we went to Villamar, we got invited to eat there, and the community showed us around a little bit, which was amazing. we got to see some beautiful rock formations, and there was one rock which looks like a camelite. We saw petroglyphs, and we saw also some ruins which were very interesting to look at. We found lots of ceramic there. We found the top of arrows, which is amazing to find, and lots of other beautiful things. The community was very friendly with us. They received us very well, and we were really happy to be there with them, as they could show us things which they know the best, you know, and that was very, very beautiful. So they showed us, I think it's called the Black Lagoon, where we had a beautiful view over one lagoon with some beautiful water, vegetation. We saw llamas and other beautiful animals. It was very, very nice. Another highlight of this trip was to visit the volcano Iruputunku. This volcano has kind of an easy access. It's not so high in terms of altitude, but very beautiful. So we went there. We were lucky that we didn't receive any rain. The forecast said that it would be like thunderstorm and everything, and we were afraid because our timeline was very short, so we had to do it that day. There was no other option, and luckily the weather received us very well. So we went there, we started to hike up the mountain, and for a few minutes there was like kind of snowing. It was kind of snowing when the water freezes. It's called granizos in Spanish. I'm not sure what's the name is now, but it was kind of snowing for a little bit and then it cleared up. So we were really lucky. And this mountain is also active, so we could see the smoke going out of the crater. It was very smelly. But a part of that, very beautiful to look at. At the top of the mountain we also received some phone signal from Chile, as on the other mountain as well, on Mount Ascotan, which was very nice, and I got to send some pictures and messages up from the top of the mountain, but we really enjoyed it. The mountain in all was very beautiful to look at. As I said already, we could walk directly to the crater where you could look, where you could see how all the rock formations are yellowish, because they also did get sulfur out of this mountain, and we even saw some ruins of the place where the people who worked here stayed at. So living in these crazy conditions wasn't easy at all. We saw the houses which didn't have any isolations. Basically they are just rocks, rock houses, you know, and maybe they did have a roof in the past, but it was very interesting to see that. Yeah. After visiting the mountain, we went to some lagoons which are nearby there, and where you can swim inside the water. There are hot springs, natural hot springs. I wasn't able to film lots of it because once we went there, we only had a few minutes and we saw the rain coming next to us already. and that was a crazy experience. Yes, and from there on, from Iruputunco, I think that was one of our last stations. We went to La Paz, which is the capital of Bolivia, where we did enjoy some beautiful meals. We visited the city and did some shopping. But apart of that, since we only had one day, we didn't do as much. However, I'd like to go back there and show you more of that area. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. And I'm excited to show you the next episode because there's lots of things I want to show you.